means that you don't have to download different applications. You don't have to bounce from app to app to conduct business. Adobe plugs right into the menu bar of your Microsoft products. And secondly, there's consistency. So if you're working in real time with real team members, you're all having the same experience with the same document at the same time. So you're consistent, you're going to be error-free, and now you can transact business and collaborate faster in your favorite Office apps. Thirdly, there's familiarity. So all of these integrations allow you to work in environments that you already know, like SharePoint or Teams, for instance. So your learning curve to take advantage of these integrations is fast, and your new way of working begins easily. And then lastly, there is security to always consider. So, excuse me, both Microsoft and Adobe make security a priority, whether independently or synergistically. And these integrations are built on the foundation of 365. So that equals compliance. SharePoint, for instance, has governance already built in, and that equals security. So today I'm going to demo a few things for you. One will be Acrobat's integration with SharePoint. So I'm going to show you how to easily create PDFs from a single file, how to create PDFs from multiple file types, and then where you can edit PDFs from within SharePoint. Then I'm going to show you Acrobat's integration with Microsoft Teams, where I'll use that PDF that I just created in SharePoint to have a working dialogue with the team members in real time. And then finally, still within Teams, I'm going to send that document out for signature using the Acrobat Sign integration. And in addition to Teams, this will also involve OneLook or Outlook or OneDrive. So in other words, what you're going to see is a complete ecosystem created by these integrations that allow you to work faster, together, error-free, in environments that are already familiar to you, so you can just keep that efficiency, keep your business moving forward. Okay, so let's begin. So here I am in my SharePoint instance where I've got a few working files loaded. Oh, hang on one second. Sorry, I've got a few working files loaded. So I've got a couple of PowerPoint presentations and some Word docs that are related to a project that my team's working on. So I want to be able to share these as PDFs for my team. So first I want to start by just creating a PDF of this Word doc, or this NDA. And so notice when I do click on that, you can see the menu bar change at the top. So what that's doing is it is showing my SharePoint integration with Document Cloud. So I'm going to go over to Document Cloud, and I'm just going to hit Create PDF by Adobe. Now, when I create PDF by Adobe, I can generate this PDF without having to open up a Word document, do a save as, and honestly, not that that takes forever, but traditionally what I would have to do is open up Word, do a save as. So open up that desktop, select where I want that new PDF to be saved, whether it's locally or in the repository, and then I could open that file in Acrobat and move on. So that's really a lot of steps. And now when I create that PDF, I've got one click, go back to my SharePoint site, do a refresh, and here's that NDA. So now it has been converted into a PDF. Okay, now with that open PDF, now I've got some options that are integral to Acrobat. So if I come over here to my edit, I can organize pages now. So I can insert, I can delete, I can extract, reposition, rotate, and replace images in this PDF. I can also combine files. So Acrobat gives me the opportunity to not only combine files, but files of different file types like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other PDFs into a single PDF. I also have options to export that PDF into Word, into Excel, into PowerPoint, or into RTF formats. And then lastly, I can convert two PDFs from those same file types. All right, so this is just a simple conversion, just converting your Word doc into a PDF. And I did mention that I also have the ability with this integration to combine multiple files of different file types. So in this scenario, I've got team members, and they dropped in different documents that reflect their role in the project that we're working on. So some of them are more comfortable working in Word, some are more comfortable working in PowerPoint, and hey, whatever works. I just need these documents so that I can put them together and we can all look at them together. Well, traditionally, That could involve emailing documents, even printing documents, and then having us all gather in a room to discuss them. And SharePoint, that's great, as you know, for housing documents, but even in SharePoint, they remain separate. So I'm still required to at least open one or two windows, toggle back and forth between applications, just to try to get a cohesive snapshot of the thinking of this project. Now, thanks to Acrobat's integration with Microsoft Teams, that traditional workflow can come to an end. Okay, so I'm going to, and integration with SharePoint also. So I'll select multiple file types. So I'll go in here and I'll grab working here in this NDA. And notice when I did that, the menu changed also. So now it's given me the option to combine these files by Adobe. So I'm going to select on that. Just a second. It's just processing things. So this usually takes just a moment. You'll see the thumbnails pop up here. It's working. There it is. Okay, and then I can just come over here and hit combine. So it's going to combine these files. And so here they are. So here's the Word document, and here is the PowerPoint included in this one document. And also, this is saved back into Team. So if I refresh, or sorry, back in the SharePoint, I'll see this is that file, the NDA combined. Okay, so now let me just tell you a little bit about this PDF. So this is going to be sent out to potential employees. Okay, but before I get too deeply into that process, I want them to sign an NDA. But I still want this NDA to have a little personality, just to show off a little of our culture. So I want them to see what it's like to work here. This happens to be Seattle, a very cool place to work, and that they can have a home office and work remotely. And all remote offices usually come with a cat. I know mine does. So I just want them to get a little more of a feel for what our culture would be. Okay, so now I can take a look at these pages, and I'm going to come over here to my edit, and I want to organize these pages a little differently just to reflect that personality. So these thumbnails will pop up, and what I'd like to do is lead with the personality and then finish up with the nitty-gritty, the signature part of that. So I like that signature form just to be at the end. So I'll move it over to here. And now when I hit save, I can rename this. I'll just give it underscore B7. I can rename it, and that'll keep the integrity of the original files intact inside of my SharePoint site. So I hit save. There it is. Okay, so now it'll be over here, and I'm going to refresh. Here's my V7. So now what I want to do is I want to be able to move it into my Teams account so that I can get my team to, we can all look at it together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come over here to the three dots in my menu bar and go move to, and here are all my Teams accounts. So I can select the one that where I want it to go. And see this top one, we'll use that. And I've got a folder already set up for documents called General. So I'll just open that up, and then I'm going to move it here. So now I can share this document with my team in Microsoft Teams using the Acrobat integration with Microsoft Teams. And I'm going to use that PDF to collaborate with my team focusing on its content. Okay, so let me jump into Teams. Now, I like this document, okay, but that doesn't mean my team, everybody in my team does. So I want them to just look at it and be able to address it, make changes if they want to. So that brings me to this next integration that I want to show you of Adobe and Microsoft, which is working and collaborating with Acrobat within Microsoft Teams. So the thinking here is Teams is ubiquitous. Adobe PDFs are also ubiquitous, so it only makes sense that Acrobat and Teams should integrate to keep your business moving forward with all team members involved in real time, in an application that they're already familiar with. So in this case, in Microsoft Teams. Okay, before we get to my PDF, I want to talk a little bit about the Acrobat integration with Microsoft Teams. So just like in SharePoint, you can use Acrobat within this Teams environment. And I have my Acrobat pinned over here in my left-hand menu. And it's very simple to do this. This gives you just easy access to that integration. But if you're in your Teams account, you can come down to your apps panel, and then you can just come up here and key in Adobe. And this will present the different integrations that you can have. So in this case, I've got Acrobat and Acrobat Sign, which I'll talk about briefly. So back in Acrobat. Okay, now I can use Acrobat within Teams. So if I go to all of my tools, I can see tools that I have to convert files. So Word to PDF, PowerPoint to PDF. I can export PDFs. I can compress PDFs, all these different conversions I can do. I also have multiple ways where I can edit my PDF. So I can add comments, combine files. I can reorder all of my pages. I can delete pages, which usually is handy. I can also insert, extract pages, organize them like I've just done in SharePoint, and I can rotate them and also split. And then lastly, down here, I can protect PDFs. And I always point that out because that is a reflection about how important security is with both Microsoft and Adobe. And that security is going to stay intact whether you're working in Acrobat Desktop, whether you're online, you're mobile, or you're in this Teams integration. And when you go home, you'll also have access to the files that can upload this file. So if I have those files stored in Document Cloud, I can go ahead and grab them. Or if they're stored locally, then I can grab them there also. And also, if I click on Documents, I can grab any documents that I have from my OneDrive account or from any Teams or channel account assets that I've used previously. So in other words, with Acrobat, you've got a tremendous amount of Acrobat's functionality right here in Microsoft Teams. Okay, so as I mentioned, you can grab files from any Teams account that you've got set up in here. So remember, I wanted to see what my team members think about that PDF that I just created in SharePoint and saved here. So I'm going to go to my team. Here I am. And I'm going to come down here and start a new conversation. Let's get this ball rolling. So you see in a moment down here at the very bottom of my screen, you'll see the tiny Acrobat icon. Okay, when I click on that, that's going to give me the ability to grab my folder or my file rather from either my Teams and my channel account. I can grab it from my OneDrive if I want to, or if it's stored locally on my computer, I can grab it from there. But I did save it into this folder just a moment ago. So this is the one I want to have. And now I'm going to open that up. Okay, so it's in my post now where I could send that, but I do want to just make sure that they know why they're receiving it. So I'm going to open this up and take a look at it. Everything looks like I want it to look. Looks pretty good. All right, now there's a couple things I can do in here. I can also utilize these tools, and this can be done either on whether you are in the Microsoft Teams desktop or mobile once they sync. So I can still export and organize. I can combine files. I can compress that PDF so I can reduce that size. If it's too big, then it just will make it easier to share for my members. And then once again, the ever ubiquitous Protect PDF is there. There's a couple other features that I can do here. So I can add a sticky note. And here I'll just say, how about the color? I want to see what they think about everything. I also could use my pencil tool and kind of scribble in if I wanted to, or point out something. Let's see, if I wanted to say, hey, what is this thing? I don't know if you can see that or not, but so you can also leave notes that are more organic than this. But I want to add an overall comment, and that is just, I just want to ask them, what do you think? I'll post that. Okay, so this is really what I want them to just take a look at, see if they like the way that these images work, see if the NDA information is fine for them also. So I'm just going to close this, and then I'm going to send this with this bottom arrow. I'm going to send this off to my team. All right, so one of the great tenets about these integrations is that you're not relegated to your desktop versions to use them. So I'm going to pop over here to a team member who is on his tablet. And I'm going to open up the Teams account here. And now I can see that this file, the NDA combined v7 that I just put in our post, is there for them to see too. His name is James, off to the side or off on his mobile device. So James could just open this. And when he opens it, he'll be able to get in here and just take a look at it. And so, okay, this looks pretty nice. There's the NDA. All the information looks great. And here's what he wants me to address. What do I think of the color? Color looks good. And what is this one? What do I think overall? Okay, so James, he's a pretty easily pleased guy. So James is just going to say this looks great and hit post. All right, so that's posted. James is good to go. Now he'll still be on the loop with any other team members that would join in here. But when I come back into my uh, Teams account, I can open this up and I'm going to be able to see James's comments when I pop this out. So if James says it looks great, sweet. I'm very, very happy about that. So now we've got this, everything looks good. Everyone has agreed on it. So there are a lot of ways that you can collaborate within Microsoft Teams using Acrobat. I'm just showing you a very, very basic one where you can create dialogue, but you can also create by just drawing in things. You can change. You can come over here to your tools, and if you want to or edit anything or do things like that, you can do all of these features also. Okay, at this point, I've leveraged the Acrobat SharePoint integration that creates that PDF that was made by combining the different file types, all while staying in that familiar SharePoint environment. And secondly, we've been able to save that file directly into our Microsoft Teams environment, all while we're able to share it with different team members for approval. All the time we're staying within Microsoft Teams environment. So now that it's approved by the team, I want to do something with it. Let's test it by sending it out for legal signatures. And Adobe and Microsoft make this really easily possible by yet another integration, and that is the Acrobat Sign with the Microsoft Teams integration. So Acrobat Sign, I also have this pinned over here. Now, once again, I got it the same way that I did Acrobat. So you can always come down to your apps, can key in Adobe, and it'll pop up here, and then you can pin it. Okay, so now with this integrated, now we can send for signatures, all while staying in Microsoft Teams environment. So we can request signatures, we can manage any bulk sends that we send out, and we can manage any agreements. So whether those agreements are in progress, whether they're waiting for you, or whether they're completed. So now I want to show you how you can send for signatures from this environment using the Acrobat Sign integration. So I'm going to go here to request signatures. And I'm going to send this once again to James T. Also, I'm going to add myself. So James is going to sign this, and this is where you can define his role as a signer. But he has other roles that you can make him. He could be a signer, he could be an improver, an acceptor, he could be a certified recipient, a form filler, or if James is busy, he can also be a delegator. He can send this to someone else to sign. These roles are also available for me, say, but today we're both going just to be signers. Now over here, we have some authentication methods. So we can ask James or myself even to authenticate by email, which is very, very common. It's really the standard practice, but you can also password protect this email. So you could create a password and they have to know that password or they don't access the email at all. We also have KBAs. We work with vendors who would set up various questionnaires, like I was born in Cincinnati. That would be one question that I have to answer. They can also authenticate with their phone, or if they have an Acrobat Sign account by chance, then they can authenticate with that. Today we're going to leave this with email. Now over here, you can leave a message, and this is a simple one. Please just review and sign this document. Remember, this is going out to potential employees, so we want to keep it simple for them. Now over here, under the options, you do have some options for password protecting. So this will password protect the actual document, okay, not the actual email. That's protected up here in the authentication methods. So two ways to protect. So you can set a password, confirm that password. They need to know it in order to open up this particular agreement. You can also set a completion deadline. So one of the tenets of all of these integrations is to be able to keep your business moving forward. If you've got some people and they kind of like drag along, you can say, by the way, you've got 1 day to do this. So not only can you set that deadline, but you can also send reminders. So you can give them a gentle nudge and just say, hey, we need to keep this thing moving forward. You can do that every day. You can do it once a week, every business day, every other third or fifth day. So you've got options to keep these people aware that they need to do something here. Also, you can define your signature type, whether it's electronic or whether it's written. Okay, so now I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to add my file. So I'm going to grab this from my computer. It's the same file. Let me grab this real quick. Where are you guys? Here you are. Here it is. is the NDA. So I'm going to open this up. And now I'm set to go to my next field. So all of my recipients are in here, including me. I left them a message. I determined whether I wanted to set any of these options, and I've included the file. Now down here it says preview and add signature fields. That's what I'm going to do. So when I hit next, two things are happening here. One, Acrobat Sign is processing this document, and that's going to allow you to do two things. One, just look at the document. Make sure that this is the what you want to have sent out. So personalities there, and then here's the NDA. Everything looks great. Now the other thing that you're seeing in blue here in the number 7 is our artificial intelligence, which is called Adobe Sensei. So Adobe Sensei is saying, hey, I'm looking here. I am seeing areas that look like they should be fillable form fields, but they're not. So do you want me to make them form fields? I'm all about artificial intelligence. Boom, one click of the button, and now they're form fields. Okay, even so, I still want to look at these form fields because they are going out to two different signers, two different recipients. So I want to make sure that this is reflective of that. So to do that, you just double click on the form field. And I can see that this is assigned to James T, which is what I want. And the signature type is signature, but it could also be a digital signature. It could be just James' initials or a signature block. It could be his title, the company that he works for, his name, his email, or his date, or just a text input. Additionally, I could set conditions for James. Show this when any field of the following conditions are met. We're going to just skip over that for now. So we're going to make that a signature field. Now we want to make this for James. We want to make this his name, his full name. So click on that. And also we want to make sure that the date is in this format. Now over here, remember we've got two signers on this. One of them is me. So I want to make sure that I'm represented here. So I'm going to select myself. And notice that this turns gray. So you're always going to see a graphic representation of how many signers you have in the signing ceremony. And if it's not the complete box that changes colors, it will be this little tiny arrow in the top right. Okay, so I'm going to leave myself in the field type as a signer, and I'm also required to sign this. So I'll hit OK. And I'll do the following with these other two fields. I want this to be a name. Hit OK. Now notice this did not turn gray. That's because I didn't do it right. I want to come here and I want to make sure that this is coming to me. Hit OK. Now it's gray. And now lastly, I want to do the same thing with the date. And hit OK. All right, so Sensei did some of the work. I just like to go in and do some finessing. It's not always required, but I like to do it. Okay, so here's my document. Now I'm ready to send it. So I'm just going to hit send. And now two things are happening. One, it's being submitted. I'm getting this email notification in my Outlook box that tells me that this has been sent out successfully for signature. And there's that email. Now this is going to go out to James first. Okay, so James, as you know, is never at his desktop. He's always on his iPad. So he's just going to come in here, pop his iPad open, and you see at the very top here, James can just select this email. Now he does not have to download anything. He doesn't have to have a license to anything. He's only got the email where he can open it up so he can review and sign. This might just take a moment just to draw in here. Okay, so here it is. So now James can go through here and look at everything. See, he knows what it looks like. Now he's just going to say that this is terrific. So he can tap sign. Now there's a few options for James to sign. He can type in a signature. He can draw in his signature, or he can upload an image of his signature. For today, we're just going to type in his name, James T, and we'll hit apply, hit OK, and then finish, and then tap to sign. Okay, so now James is done. Okay, and it says here that he can download a copy of what he just signed, and he can do that. However, it's going to go to another recipient, which is me, for signature. So James can wait till that signing ceremony is complete. He'll get another email that allows him to download a copy and the audit trail, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so James signed successfully, and now it's my turn. So this says that here, this email says that James,
by using data loss prevention, retention labels, and policies and sensitivity labels. One, the built-in sensitive information types can help organizations to quickly identify
Somebody's got to mute.
types of sensitive data.
Okay, I'm hoping that was just interference, so I'm going to continue on. I couldn't understand if that was a question or what that was, but if it was a question, then follow up with me with the email. Okay, so this says that James has signed and that now my signature is required. So I'm going to click on this email and I can review and sign this document. So now I just hit start. I can scroll down here and I can see James's sign and also his signature and the print name automatically populated. So now I'm just going to sign and I'm going to edit that signature. I don't know why it's coming in like that. I have a couple options. So I can also type, draw my signature, upload an image, but because I'm on a desktop version, I can use my mobile device. Today, I'm just going to type in my signature, type that in and hit apply. And hit OK. And now click to sign. So now I'm finished also. But what happens now is both me and James, we're going to get an email that says that that combined document between Adobe and here it is, the final agreement is attached. So I can open this up and I can open the agreement. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, I'll do that a different way. So come in here, I can, there it is. Okay, so I can open the agreement from here. So I can open it and take a look at it, and I can see not only the, if I want to see those, I can see them, but I can see that this has been signed by me and it's signed by James. Everything looks great. I can also come in here and look at the audit trail that comes in that email. And these audit trails are tremendous because what they do is they give you every single step of that signing ceremony. So when this document was created, when it was emailed to the first recipient, viewed and signed by them, when it was emailed to the second recipient, which is me, and then when it was viewed and signed by me, and then when that agreement was completed. And I'll also be able to see up here a transaction ID or an agreement ID. Sometimes those are interchangeable. Now up here in this blue panel, this is your money shot. Okay, what this tells you is that this document is now been certified by Adobe Sign, which means that it's legally binding. It's going to hold up in any court of law for the duration. You can also validate any signatures that you want to. And I always point out this little lock over here, because security, as I mentioned before, at least once, is important to us. We know that it's important to you. If you want to drill down into security, you can go into the permission details here and just spend a little more time seeing what they are specifically. Also, the one I like to point out the most is this one, changing the document, not allowed. Okay, so that just confirms that the integrity of this document is going to remain for all time. And that is a simple signing ceremony from within Microsoft Teams. Okay, so we started here. Just to review, we did start here in our SharePoint instance. We created a PDF from a PowerPoint presentation and a Word doc. Then we moved that PDF right into our Microsoft Teams account. Excuse me. And then once in the Teams account, we collaborated in real time on the content of the PDF using Acrobat and Microsoft Teams integration. And then finally, we utilized Acrobat Sign to send that document out. So the benefit here is that overall, it's a nice new way to work. Okay, you no longer need to have different applications to open and bounce back and forth between them. Now these integrations allow you to get the most out of both Microsoft and Adobe. So now you can work within single familiar environments and to be able to collaborate in real time, and you'll be able to work securely across all platforms. So that's a nice brief introduction to the integrations with Acrobat and Acrobat Sign into SharePoint and Microsoft Teams. Does anyone have any questions?
Doesn't seem like it, but Alex, thank you so much. I mean, even as an
Yes.
Adobe employee, watching you do that, crazy. I love it. Amazing.
Well, I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I mean, if you guys have questions, you can reach out to myself or Jared. Oh, wait, what is this? Do you know the differences between Adobe Sign and DocuSign? We do. And we have some partner-facing battle cards and some other information. If you reach out to us, here, I'll put myself and I'll put Jared's email, adobe.com. So that's me. And then I'll put at, did I spell that right? I don't even know if I spelled it right.
I got it.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
okay,
I
it's
got
the
it. I just put it in
YCZ at
there.
the end that always messes me up. Reach out to myself or Jared and we can actually give you a battle card. Jared and I have been talking about this quite a bit this week. But we do have some, we have a customer facing site that is from Adobe that you can share with customers. We have a battle card that'll help you have conversations about that. Just let us know.
I'd like to just add